So how was your plan for 2020? Me? I had a great plan. What could possibly go wrong? The November before I arrived into Gokana, where this show is set. Holy Hindu pilgrimage town halfway down the west coast of India. And arriving from England felt like crossing the finishing line to victory. And as 2020 opens, I decide to stay on the beach 4 more months, work on 2 shows and pursue idleness as an extreme sport. Someone says, is nobody on this beach working? Dave Blue Eyes, ex-car thief from North London, points to me, spread-eagled on the ocean. Yeah, Jem's working. Mid-morning, the sea is often as flat as a glass of wager, and I'm going to float out there, running lines. In time, I get so good at floating, even yoga teachers want lessons. Yes, folks, I become the guru of floaters. Then, it was going to be my biggest fringe tour yet. 11 festivals, May to September, Orlando, Tampa to Vancouver, with a show that's already been a hit. 5-star reviews, multiple sellouts, going to be my biggest, best tour yet. What could possibly go wrong? Then Nepal for the Annapurna circuit up in the Himalayas, which I finally did March last year. Took 17 days, up to 5,500 meters. Hardcore. Nothing I do is hardcore, but that was. Then Sydney. My sister, Christmas. Maybe Melbourne. Lots of fringe friends in Melbourne. And then I was going to disappear into the South Seas. Find the tiniest fleck of green in all the vastness of blue that has internet. Stay for as long as I possibly can and take 2021 off. What a great plan. Anybody have a plan that good? What could possibly go wrong? The future has been abbreviated and is now the FU. Yet I'm English, and we never let a thing like complete and utter misery prevent us from having a good time. And if tomorrow is gone, all you have is today. September 2020, Gokana. I get up 5:30, low tides coming best for a 10k beachy saunter up to the Gangavali River as the darkness breaks and the sun comes up. Same walk yesterday. Tomorrow, 1 day in 10 by the second fishing village, there's a pack of dogs round you, at you, at you, at you. Today, no dogs. And if you want to know how wars start, try watching the dogs on the beach. I get back, swim. My chief relationship these days is with the ocean. Then it's over the drowned paddy fields of monsoon for my 150th breakfast in 200 at Janardana's bun shop on the road. Dal and 3 puri. Simple. The sum of human happiness is forever increased if I eat this bread while it's warm. While Janardana's lentil dal is the best food around, but I am getting thin. Already one belt has imploded. While Janardana is a Gowda, one of my host, family, caste, clan, the Gowdas, farmers mainly, I can't really speak to Janardana or Padu or Mahesh, but they are definitely friends. While the language here is called Kannada, and the district Uttara Kannada, or the UK. So I'm in the UK where they speak Kannada. Over the months, as time stretches and slackens and stretches further and slackens and nothing happens, I'm slowly becoming part of this village. something I never expected, maybe even a remote part of this extended family. The best thing I can do to make the Gowders happy? Go around to their house for food. They like it. They like it a lot. One day, how long all this will be over, and I have a vision of the Gowders in the fields, harvesting or planting, waving goodbye at me, waving goodbye at them. While this area, poor, conservative, I will never have a conversation with a local woman. I have Indian women friends who are outsiders, but I will never speak to a local woman. I won't try, and it won't happen. While widows do not remarry. Mahesh's sister was widowed at 23. She will never remarry. While paying at Janardana's is the simplest financial transaction ever. He gives no price. I hand him 100 rupees, $1.60, pocket the change without looking at it. When lockdown first started, in those first weird weeks when no one knew what might happen next or how bad it might get, some French panicked, left. Austrians, Germans panicked, left. It's India, might get weird. We'll all end up hanging from the trees. I wasn't worried for a second. The Gowders would protect me. The main thing I wanted back then, to not leave. This is the best place to be. Real luck, slow adventure. And I am eye deep in the book of plenty. Have not looked at an airline website once. And how safe is this place? Well, I left my laptop on a table outside my hut for 6 months. The definition of safe. The bad news about laptop, it's currently electrified. Miss the keys, get a shock. The good news about electrification, this has finally forced the ant's nest inside the laptop to move out. I get back, swim. Read the news online, swim. Coffee, swim. Read, swim, swim, swim. Facebook can be rough. Out in the far, far away world, many friends are having it tough, particularly in Canada. Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, more. People talking about friends' depression, their depression, friends' ideations of suicide, their ideations. While my rough bit was back in June. Early lockdown, I'd been a tight unit with Christine, Munich yoga teacher, 62, and Mithun, Indian software whiz kid, 28. We were like dad, mum, and the kid. When they left, my rough bit. Today, come noonish, I decide to wander the 2 miles down the beach to the town. I have long given up on all footwear, yet round noon the sand can get to scalding, so I have to skip to the hush-hushing waves. Gokana has 5 beaches. This is the long straight one called Main Beach or Long Beach, though if it's anyone's beach, it's the Gowders, and they call it Marriage Beach. In legend, Shiva married Ganga just there. While today, hot, gorgeous, yet the monsoon will be back. And I remember the first days of the pandemic as the vapor trails vanished from the sky and the first of thousands of face masks washed up on the shore, while the rumours hardened into conspiracy theories. And the cops enforcing lockdown back in March. 3 large uniformed gentlemen with large moustaches and large sticks marching briskly up this beach, hitting anyone they can reach. And I came up with the line, person-shaped hole in the fence. Still not sure what it means or how to use it. Well, last week I wrote, the mind, unstrung and unstringing. The tightnesses, untautening. The knots, loosening, lessening, unravelling. The month, the hour, the week, the minute, the day, the second, the year. And also the line, the English language was invented by a drunk anarchist. Because me, yeah, poet. So maybe while I'm wandering down the beach, I should explain a bit more who I am. Should be funny. So, gem rolls, English, honest. Back in the other life, further away, less important. Did more fringe festivals than anyone else on earth this century. People did say fringe legend. I would say no. It's a hard G. It's fringe leg end. Question is, which end of the leg? Heel or testicle? And performance poet. I sell nothing. Every penny I live on is fringe audience door money. And 5 sellouts. Edmonton Fringe 2019 will pay for 15 months on this beach. Though in Gokana, I'm not sure that everybody quite believes me about Poet. Some of these people are perhaps criminals. So they have cover stories for how they really make their money. But Poet, very rubbish cover story because nobody expects a poet to ever make any money. While I haven't had a home since 2007, all I need in this world, bank card, laptop, passport. And I was never very good at possessions or domesticity, as a succession of ex-girlfriends might testify. And I never expected a home, but I found one. The warm and supportive, the Fringe Tour, Mavericks, Genii, Crazies, Vagabonds, a home itself mobile across summer Canada. While my great tour of 2020, what could possibly go wrong? Would have been my 18th tour straight. People do one fringe tour, they are obliteratingly shattered. They say, how are you still alive? I say, I'm only 38, it's been tough. Enough about me, here's Gokana, one of the 7 holiest pilgrimage sites in all Hinduism. Shiva's soul is here. In the 2,000-year-old legend, the great Lord Shiva gave his own soul to Ravana, the war god, for being Shiva's greatest devotee. So Ravana is marching proudly down this coast when Ganesh, that's elephant head, tricks Ravana into putting the soul down on the earth where it fixes forever. And that's Gokana. Shiva's soul, or the Atmalingam, is under the big temple. And there is only one Atmalingam in all Hinduism. Big stuff. Lockdown has eased, so there's a few pilgrim families around. Men come to Gokana. They wear just a black skirt. They have their head shaved. They smear their crown with paste. They worship in the Ganesh temple. They worship in the big Shiva temple. Then they go and jump in the sea. So I watched some in the water a while and wander barefoot into the town. Gokana is oldish and low-rise. From the head above, you cannot see the town for the tall palm trees. In the town, you're not even aware of the trees. Well, what is the best way to get to know somewhere alien, especially if you have no language? To simply be there, to soak yourself in the place for months. And here I am, which I'm stretching, slipping. What day is it? I don't know. What month is it? I would lose track. Our slogan, same, but same. Theme tune, every day is like Sunday. And you know the line? Everything is beautiful. Well, that might be true, but everything is fascinating for at least a few seconds. If you look at this street, Car Street, temples, temple car, people, shops, endlessly enthralling. And the human brain is built for fascination. While here's Showland, which is the shop where I had this shirt made. It's shut. And most places are still shut. And it's social distancing. But that's okay. I'm English. And we've been practicing for social distancing for 1,000 years. Because we are no moi. And absolutely, definitely no moi. While most face masks are around the chin, the human race Don't you just love it? Yes, I do. It's the only possible way to cope with it. Well, in the juice shop, a soda is 8 cents. So cheap, it's cheaper to have one than not. I have 4. Over the road at Pie the Cafe are some conspiracy theorists. I wave high. Gokana outsiders, Indian and foreign, are 90% spiritual, 80% yoga, 75% stoner, 50% conspiracy theory, and all 60% anti-vaxxer and rising. While me, I am none of those things. I am in fact the only atheist on this beach. So I wave high and the conspiracy theorists wave back. I don't really talk to those people. You cannot win an argument with them because they never think about anything else. And because they are right and you are wrong. Because they know and they are free and you are not. Don't you want to hear both sides of the argument, Jim? Well, I don't want to watch any bloody David Icke on YouTube, if that's what you mean. And well, I can see why you don't believe the things you don't believe, but I've no idea how you do believe the things you do believe. Well, the other morning, this nice German mother, Ava, she said, "Do you really believe the virus can attach itself to moisture in your throat so you can breathe it on people?" Well, yeah. I wander around, get some veg. The booze shop is back open. 1 beer is still a waste of money. 5 beers is still a valid investment in your own future. And Gokana is sacred, so alcohol is banned. But there's 2 booze shops. Meat is forbidden, but chicken's on some of the menus. Smoking, not allowed, but people do. It's India. The rules and regulations are an aspiration. Cow. In India, everything stops for cow, holy, cow, sacred, cow. Then, random decision to head back through the fish market where the fishwives are always very happy to see this sucker foreigner. Because no matter how little I pay, it's still too much. Except, I get a really handsome kingfish for $2 and wander the 2K back down the sunny green jungle lane. My current room is in a 4-apartment block on an island in the monsoon flood I renamed Population Yuri, because it was just Yuri, craziest of all the Russians, which is saying something. Yuri, ridiculously happy, complete stoner, skips around all day. Hello trees, hello flowers, hello sun, hello sky. Yuri, he wore just a lungi, a tea towel for a year. Yuri, the kind of Russian ex-army dentist with no front teeth. He's broke, so I buy food, cook, he washes up. It works. And to get there, I have to wade through 3 feet of water from every direction. And there's snakes in here, including cobras. But me, I never meet snakes. If you are light and you move with a nimble grace, you will meet plenty snakes. Me, stomping, clomping Englishman, I never see snakes. Question: what is scarier than an unidentified 8-foot snake just 20 yards away? Answer: the space where an unidentified 8-foot snake was just 5 minutes ago, but isn't anymore. And while on the way from town, I bumped into Prachi Pandey from Pune and Joel from Mumbai, foodies, and they gave me 20 seconds of advice on how to cook the kingfish. Garlic, lead, fry it. So, 25 minutes later, I'm tucking into the kingfish yet, and it's wonderful. It's perfect. It's the nicest fish I've ever eaten on my first go. And suddenly it hits me. This is too good. Much, much too good. This can't be real. There has to be another explanation. And the only explanation is I'm dead! We're all dead. It's the afterlife, paradise, and a much better afterlife than I in any way deserve. How can it have taken me so long to see it? I died months ago. And it does explain a lot. I mean, it's a much better explanation than a bat bit of pangolin somewhere in southern China, so a virus has gone round the world, the whole world stopped, and even the English pubs are shut. I mean, that's a lot more complicated than I made a bad error of judgment crossing that road, while the fact I've had the same breakfast 150 times had made me kind of wonder, but I never followed the thought through to see it straight. We're all dead. We can never leave. This isn't a peninsula. It's an asteroid 10k around floating wooey in space-time. We can never leave. If I try and cross the Gangavali River to the north, it becomes the Aganashini. To the south, cross the Aganashini, it becomes the Gangavali. If I take the only road out east over the Nagabale salt flats, there's actually 3 roads, but one road makes for a better fantasy. If I take the one road out east, I emerge dripping from the ocean. We can never leave. I'm defunct. I've met the maker. I've run down the curtain and joined the choir invisible. So Christine and Mattoon, who left in May and June, they must have got promoted to a higher heaven. And good for them. While the Gowders in the fields, they're not dead. They have lives, but I am. While the more I think about it, the better the theory gets. Beach life, laptop, no shoes, no issues. This verdant Indian paradise with the slow, fascinating change of the seasons is so much, much better than I deserve. So maybe I should keep quiet. But do I? No, because I have much too big a mouth. So next morning, in the bun shop, I start telling people the good, bad news. We're all dead. It's the afterlife. Dave Blue Eyes and John from Sydney, they listen dubiously. But then John says, Jem, does this mean I'm an angel in your heaven? Which does pose the not normal question, folks. Are we all angels in each other's heaven? So, despite the fact I'm dead, all is good. But I do know this is much better than But then the flute solos from the sociopathic California dread across the way go from 2 hours a day to 8 hours a day. And I meet the famous evil ant, Tetrapanera rufa negra. Ow! 4 hours of proper pain from an ant bite. Ow! Its other name is bicoloured arboreal ant, but I think the Latin Tetrapanera rufa negra does it so much better. On my balcony, ow! In my bed, double ow! Because yes, my afterlife has started to degrade down to a level more appropriate to the human being I have been. The monsoon comes back with extra buckets. And hey, is my life suddenly full of unnecessary sourness and bitterness, or am I just eating a pomegranate badly again? Well then Cyril moves in. French actor. What did I do to deserve Cyril with a yapping dog yapping at me all the time? Hey Cyril, the 1970s called, they want their sexism back. Hey Cyril, the 1930s called, they want their anti-Semitism back. I met this nice Indian woman. There was this German guy there. He was a cock blocker. Cyril's motorbike has no silencer. So everywhere he goes, he's pissing everybody off. But for me, it's handy. Hark, a motorbike doth approach. I think I'll go and jump in the ocean. Well, I've been asking people what word best sums up the expression on people's faces when they are listening to yet another conspiracy theory. I think that best word is wooden. And I have to listen again, wooden, to Cyril's tale of how he got run out of Hollywood by a conspiracy between Emmanuel Macron, French president, and Leonardo DiCaprio, who did not want Cyril to succeed, so they ran him out of Hollywood. And here he is, rolling another joint and telling me all about it again. Plus, he has a racist contempt for the Indians. I've met a bunch of people who've been in India too long and are constantly wound up, vocally obsessed by lateness, filth, unreliability, slowness. Well, me, I'm not constantly demanding things that might not happen how I like. But the likes of Cyril, racist whinge, racist slur, racist rant. India can be a lot, yeah? It was a battle, and Cyril lost that battle. It was a test, and they failed. Course, their lives are rubbish. They're in them all the time. It could be worse. I could be you. Now, that's what I call a life sentence. But hey, on the upside, if someone had to get to be Cyril, aren't you glad it was him and not you? And so, to escape the French actor, I persuade Paddy Gowda to reopen my natural Gokana home, the Shiva Ganga, early after monsoon, and I soon move in, where I meet my friend Kardiam from Telangana. And I tell him about the epiphany of the kingfish. We're all dead, it's the afterlife. And he tells me, very interestingly, that in legend, Gokana is what is known as a Bukailash, which is a word in a few old languages which means a portal between earth and heaven. And I'm like, hey, told you so, we're all dead, it's the afterlife. And so, reinforced by this proof, I start saying to people, if this is the afterlife, that means you're dead, which means you died. So, how did you die? This was great fun. Choose your own death. Spirity from Tuktur, she was so happy to quit the corporate life, she died of the excess joy. Tatiana, space cadet of all space cadets, in her own highly elliptical orbit around the distant moon of a far, far out planet no one else has ever found. Her plane crashed landing in Delhi. She never even made it out of the airport into India. While Lucky, the old Slovenian sailor, he's the happiest person I know, he dies on a woman. Lucky, spelt L-A-K-E, pronounced lucky. And while the happiest person I know, and while he dies on a woman, my friend Leticia dies making love. Leticia, Swiss, Italian, tiny. On her passport, her identifying mark is short woman. Big, deep, infectious laugh. She used to be a celebrity makeup artist in Switzerland, but then her back went badly. Neurosurgery failed very badly. She can never have sexual intercourse ever again. But Leticia, she does die making love. When lockdown first starts, Leticia is in Rishikesh, yoga capital, North India. That's where the Beatles went. But suddenly, there's all these starving, stranded, wandering monks who've renounced the earthly life for spiritual discipline. But there's 150 of them, and hungry. So, Leticia and this French bloke, they take on a meal a day each. So every morning, Leticia's on the phone, talking, laughing, talking, sorting 150 meals for the hungry monks who don't eat a lot, but they do eat. Go, Leticia. While me, still, my chief relationship is with the still, floating on the midnight ocean, beneath the sparkling stars of the blue-black dark sky. My slightest movement lighting the fluorescent plankton of the clear flat sea. So I am swaddled by this ghost me of unearthly lights, swirling about me in the dark of night as I lie, stilly, suspended on the interface between the wet and the ethereal, the here and the infinite, as I lie on, in this now between the gone and the next. Meanwhile, nothing happens. And while nothing's happening, nothing happens or matters. There is little I need to do today that can't be done in a few days' time, and so I don't, or maybe I do, a bit, a lot, or not. While the calendar repealed, the laws of cause and effect no longer properly hold. Maybe they've had a divorce. Maybe cause got sick of effect, blaming them for everything. Yet one day, all this will be over, and I'll be waving bye to the Gowders in the fields. Meanwhile, I'm still asking people my favourite new question. How did you die? Dora, social working baker from Linz, dies of heartbreak. Sashka, red-beard Russian Viking, alas, poor Sashka, we knew him well. He fell off a Himalaya. While my friend Prachi Pandey from Pune, fastest thinker I have ever met, ricocheting repartees, Prachi, she climbed to the top of the tallest tree in the world and was so transfixed by the beauty, she was transformed into pure resin, and her corporeal remains are now amber. When I get a message from my best Gokana pal, Mithun, who left in June. He's in Bangalore, giant software city 10 hours away. And well, how to explain Mithun? This is tough, yeah? So Mithun, Indian, from Tamil Nadu, 28, big smile, round cheeks, always cheerful, courteous, always humble, and seriously built. To be that built takes determination. When we first meet, New Year's 2018-19, he was super quiet, would not say boo to a goose. His 20s had been dark. Back then, he was both a loner and a drinker. After he meets me, he decides he doesn't like drink and he does like people. Virgin, the single most heartbroken human being I have ever met. He was not allowed to marry his childhood sweetheart. Her father said no, because Mithun's a slightly lower caste and Tamil, which means he's dark-skinned. And this trashed him for years. While it took me rather too long to realise this humble guy is a genius. Algorithms so high-end they are AI. He was once #1 programmer in all India. Big stuff. And he has a flash job as a troubleshooter for a Bangalore-based software company out of Dallas, Texas. Except one of his dark issues had been boss, abusive, bullying, which is why Mithun's one of the Indian whiz kids working remotely on this beach. Though, just before pandemic, Mithun created an algorithm for the financial markets, which was making good money. So his boss wants in. So he's become his boss's boss. But then his boss's boss wants in. So he's become his boss's 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 boss, which is a whole lot of boss. In Indian terms, Mithun is rich. If I asked, he would fund my entire existence. But of course, I won't. So now he says he's coming back from Bangalore, and is there anything I want from the big city? And cheese? Really? Am I so content in my afterlife that the only thing I'm lacking is cheese? And he also says that he has appointed me as his guru, his spiritual master, for he has already distilled the 3 principles of Geminism. So I'm now a guru, a baba. I have a flock of 1, a disciple. So, am I 11 disciples short of a Last Supper? No! But I am a poet and I know what rhymes with flock of 1, flock of none, not flock of 2. And how humiliating to be a guru with a flock of none. And I do know this day will come. Well, the idea of being guru is a little ridiculous, embarrassing, but he's a good pal and that's what he wants. So I don't say no, and maybe he needs me. So I don't say no or yes. Well, there are, of course, a few wannabe gurus knocking around Gokana, Indian, American, spouting trite obviousnesses, and I certainly do not want to be like them. While my friend Venki looks like a guru. Venki, he used to be a psychologist in advertising in Mumbai, but now he's like a beach-bound, acid-head Indian Bob Marley. Big, rich, deep, masculine laugh. Best laugh on the beach. And he laughs a lot. And Bangalore tourists do approach Venki on the beach looking for answers to life questions. And Venki has no pretensions to being a guru. But he is a nice guy, so he'll take the time to think and give the best answer he can. Soon, I get tourists to approach Venki with the big question. Baba, what question should I be asking you? Venki dies in his sleep. Manuela dies of boredom from Austrian friends always asking her when she's going to get a normal life. While Coco, the knotty-beard Hungarian wizard, is a devotee of Ganesh, and he is beheaded by Shiva and his head is replaced by an elephant. And Mattoon finally returns, and he says he died the most agonising death imaginable, but he's going to leave it to me to work out what the most agonising death might be. But me, I decide not to go there. Well, soon he's telling people, Jem's my guru. I say, we're having a bromance. Not a romance, a bromance. It's like our own buddy movie. Maybe like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Maybe I'm Butch. Maybe he's Sundance and Butch, but neither. Yet we are good pals. Similar sense of humour. Early lockdown, when lots of people are scared, I'm walking past his hut and he's sharpening his machete. And his voice calls out, Jem, why not tell your friends on Facebook your Indian friend next door is sharpening his machete? One time he says, Jem, how come you're not old? Well, our running gags include other people, overrated. The hippie drummers are drumming again, other people, overrated. The conspiracy theorists are conspiracy theorizing again, other people, overrated. While our habitual greeting becomes, whatever you're doing, stop. The traditional Indian greeting, by the way, is namaste. And that kind of translates as the divine in me greets the divine in you, which is quite different to whatever you're doing, stop and shame. I give Mattoon and Prachi Pandey lessons in how to Englishly, imperiously go shame. So, can we try that, dear audience? So, stiff finger, act like you mean it. Shame. Well done. You can be English. Overjudger. Shame. Hypocrisy makes the world go round. So yes, we are good pals, except I have to watch what I say, because he's listened to and listens to everything, and he takes it all much too seriously. And he's already drawn 3 principles from the thoughts of Chairman Me. So I immediately give him a 4th. You should have more than one guru. I think you can understand my motivation there. While the 3 principles of Geminism would seem to be 1, if you're going to do something, really, really do it. Which is a good attitude, yes, but obvious. I mean, in Canada, it's a steam whistle pub blackboard slogan. And the second one isn't even my line. It's from Lise Meitner, physicist, who I did a show about. And Lise Meitner, she said, life need not be easy, provided only it is not empty. I'll say that again. Life need not be easy, provided only it is not empty. While the third one is the big one. And it's just a line I casually mentioned I've been trying to get into a poem for years. It's nice to be nice, and it's good to be good. Which is a nice and it's good to be good. So it's not a morality, it's a choice. And these three lines, in particular, the third, it's nice to be nice and it's good to be good. So there is no need for a must or a should when it's good to be nice and it's nice to be. These will detonate in the expanding Mattooniverse, triggering him into compulsive altruism, helping people. Helping. Come Christmas, it gets so that he has to work between midnight and 8, because come noon, there will already be a lineup forming outside his door of people wanting help with phone, laptop, software, hardware, fridge, hot plate, motorbike, bike, motorbike. Round the corner, there is quite likely a couple of Indian guys too shy to be seen wanting something, hoping Mattoon will come round the corner so they can ask for help. So if this show's called Maximum Crusoe, maybe it's not me. Robinson Crusoe is super resourceful. I'm not, or close. While Mattoon can, and does, design and have built an entire house in the Shiva Ganga, give physics lessons to the 16-year-old Russian girl, and translate English Hindi, English Canada. While me, I can't do any of those things, though I could quite possibly come up with a decent one-liner, rhyming couplet, or even haiku about each or any of them. So maybe he's Maximum Crusoe, whatever, because compulsive altruism has blown up his life and transformed it into one long, chaotic, random walk. Lose sight of him, and you might not see him for 3 hours, 3 days, 10 minutes does not exist. And all this is driven by, spurred by optimism, positivity, and an old-fashioned altruism, a joy in, a need to be helping people, which all generates more and more and more and more. So in the Mattooniverse, nothing happens as it should. The egg is in the wrong joke. It's crossing the road with the chicken, because he's not here, he's over there, grinning, caring, helping, succeeding. And Mattoon says he is learning masses about masses of different things. And all this is hugely helping his next giant algorithm project, his super complex algorithm for the financial markets. When the Shiva Ganga restaurant reopens, none of the Gowdas can read English, so Mattoon becomes unpaid waiter, which teaches him about supply and demand. And all this is hugely informing the giant project, which is not trading. Mattoon says trading is for losers. He says the giants in the financial markets don't play them, they temporarily rig them. And his super complex algorithm will identify what a giant is up to and piggyback them, copy them, buy, sell 2 seconds later. And the general consensus is Mattoon, so he will win far more often than he will lose, and the general consensus is Mattoon is going to make millions. While some of the stoners and me, we think it's excellent that one of us is using lockdown to make bucket loads of cash. While some think Mattoon's full of bull. The conspiracy theorists, full of bull, they think Mattoon's full of bull. But the other Indian whiz kids on this beach, Ritesh, Harsha, and more, they all agree Mattoon is for real. While the whiz kids, the Indian whiz kids like Ritesh, Mattoon, Harsha, they want to make loads and loads of money and get out youngish. They want to make millions and millions of dollars, but not hundreds of millions and quit at 35, 40. Mattoon wants to spend the rest of his life giving the money away because it's nice to be nice and it is good to be good. While whiz kids like Ritesh Harsha, oh, I said that bit. So while Ritesh, he dies, Ritesh is running India's first online sex shop for women. And he says he dies extreme adrenaline rush while skydiving. Naomi, Italian photographer, dies driving too fast in her hometown of Cuneo. While Alexandra, fortune teller from Kiev, she says she finally achieves enlightenment whilst meditating and dies of pure happiness. And that, folks, is your quintessential happy, hippie, Gokana death. Achieve enlightenment, die of pure happiness. While me, by this stage, I've got a bit shaggy and thin and ragged, so that Bangalore tourists even start coming up to me on the beach trying to buy drugs from me. The indignity. And this can only mean that I look more of a likely drug dealer than them. Or any of them. The indignity. So Maximum Crusoe is in fact the name of me and Mattoon's buddy movie. I'm super shaggy, he's super resourceful, together we are Maximum Crusoe. While Mattoon, he now buys me a present. This, a white dhoti, which I wear at sunset on the beach with a white shirt, yeah? And suddenly, everybody's laughing at me, particularly the Russians, because it turns out that wearing all white is a statement of your own spiritual purity. Who knew? So it would seem that I am guilty of a somewhat premature declaration of my own divinity. Whoops! Who knew? Everybody but me knew. While now, it is the part of the show where the poet is mistaken for a giant bee. Where I sit, outside my hut, in the Shiva Ganga, working, I'm constantly in a swarm of bees from a hole there. They're smallish, look like flies, but Paddu Gowda tells me they're bees. Stingless, don't make honey. Then, one morning, I'm strolling across these paddy fields a ways away when, ow, I get stung, and ow, again I look up, there is a swarm of bees coming directly for me. So I run to the end of the field, stop, they're still coming. I haven't sprinted in decades, barefoot, down the woodland path, stop, they're still coming, ford a creek, onto the beach, they're still coming. So, like a cartoon, I have to go and jump in the ocean. And when I come out, 4 stings, 2 proper doozies. Next morning, I go for a coffee with a very handy German biochemist, Renee. And we work out that because I sit in a swarm of bees, I have pheromones of bee on me. So when I enter the territory of a different species, I am a giant enemy invader and they attack. Ow! So yes, folks, I got mistaken for a giant bee. Well now, Aprilish 2021, the virus finally arrives in Gokana. We were never clear if it was near or far or here. Info, disinfo, misinfo. We were never clear if it was near or here. While now, face masks, 95%. And I decide to deal with the crisis by smoking my second joint in a decade. It's this big. It takes me 6 days. Everything got really complicated, and I was extremely glad when it was all over. Well now, May the monsoon, my second, much heavier. First the good news, Christ is reborn. Then the bad news, it's me. I'm sorry, that was actually from the wrong show entirely. That's what you get for smoking a joint, folks. I'll try that again, shall I? So, the monsoon. First the good news. I can see the bridge. Then the bad news. It's floating in the middle of the field. Cow. Cow. Everything stops for. Cow. Cow. One morning, in the bun shop, I'm with Dave Blue Eyes. Dave, 67, stringy, like Iggy Pop, but stringier. And ex-car thief, ex-beggar, ex-alcoholic, ex-heroin addict. And we're talking about my atheism. How I believe the scientist's view of creation and the universe is much more beautiful and fascinating than any religion has ever come up with. And this gets Dave thinking. So that sunset, he appears at the Shiva Ganga. We watch another gorgeous descent. And before he heads off down the beach, he says, what I want is something to be grateful to. He wants there to be a higher being so he can have someone, something to thank for this, life, the universe, everything. While me, I don't expect or want or need there to be anything in the universe I can meaningfully say thank you to except people. But Dave, he has got me thinking how to say thank you for this pandemic. Luck to what? To who? To which? To when? To why? To how? To who? To Gokana, how do you thank a town? To the people. And I start asking Indian friends, I don't know, how about a memorial bench on the head? To Western, an idea. And I say to Kalyan, how about a festival for the kids? And Kalyan winces and says, it's India. We already have enough festivals. And yet, something written somehow, cow. It's a different cow. Cow. So how does this show end? Well, it doesn't end with my passing, though I did immediately know, whilst eating the kingfish, how I passed. Swimming out, thinking about poem, don't notice distance, too late. So classic Mick, that's the end of me. So classic mix of poetic and bloody stupid. But no, that's not how it ends. Does it end when after 2 years minus 2 days, I finally left India? I went from rainy season Gokana to rainy season Chennai to rainy season Sri Lanka. 3 different monsoons in a week. Is this a record? So not only was I out of the afterlife, but I was being pursued by my own set of heavy grey-black clouds. But no, that's not how it ends. Does it end the October before, when I first broke away from Gokana to Rajasthan in northwest India with Prachi Pandey from Pune. Prachi, 25, round glasses, gammon, cheeky grin, fast thinker. We are not an item. And yet, after 656 days on the beach and 34 hours on the train, we suddenly find ourselves in the car park of Ajmer station where, people, the world, round you, at you, near you, round you, at you, near you, Prachi is from India. She should be able to cope with this, but Prachi's standing there going, hopeless, helpless, overwhelmed. But no, that's not how it ends. It must end in Gokana with the Gaudas. But first, a piece in which I am the first snowdrop of pandemic winter. We go to Jaisalmer, famous desert golden walled city. Gorgeous, except over half its income has always come from tourism, and they have not seen a single foreigner in an entire year. Until me. I was so welcome. I was more welcome than Edmonton in August. Traffic stopped, windows slid down, and everybody came out and they grinned. For I was an omen of good fortune on 2 legs. I was the first snowdrop. Except we got word the visa situation was changing. I'd had 11 emergency visa extensions from the Indian government and the next one will be the last. So I know what I have to do. So I wave goodbye to Prachi Pandey, who had never left India before, by the way, but is now living in Peterborough, Ontario. I saw her a month ago. She is doing just fine. So I wave goodbye to Prachi and I take the same train back. And I know what I have to do. I write it. This page. Mr. Anand translates it into Canada. This page. Then I recruit Tatiana, the Arizona space cadet, and Mike, the German bookseller, and we get over 70 names that want to go on the back. Though some in Gokana are against this, the conspiracy theorists. But to be honest, I've no idea what they had against it, and I don't care, because I have to do it. And while Mattoon, he now leaves. I am a guru with a flock of none, and I don't know how Mattoon is. This show is true, and I have no closure here. I don't know how Mattoon is. While then, November the 24th, 2021, I print off 500 copies, and with Mike and Tatiana, we go around the shops and stalls and chai shops of Carr Street and Main Street handing these out. We wish to say thank you to you, the people of Gokana. This town has been a very special haven in this time of global pandemic. While the world faced grave crisis, when everything seemed difficult, the people here gave us sanctuary. We are all very happy to express our great appreciation for your help, your kindness, and your understanding. Many of us foreigners have been here 2 whole years, yet now, while some can stay, most of us have to leave India. Living here amongst you for so long has been a unique experience, and many a valuable lesson has been learned. It is a great shame to go, yet we have had, with your help and support, a very good run. Namaste to the people of Gokana, from the foreigners and outsiders. I wrote that, and though I've possibly done more flyering than any other fringe performer ever, I found it hard. The gut, the lung, the heart, the head. Mike, Tatiana took to it like a fish to water, but me, I was off throne. I could not handle. I hid behind Tatiana. And yet the Gokana faces lit right up and shone when they understood our message of pure gratitude. It was very nice to be nice. And then, as I always knew they would be, on my last day, the Gowders, all of them, planting sweet potatoes. The old, the young, the men, the women, Padu, Mahesh, Janardana, they unbend their backs and they stand and they wave. And I wave back and I disappear. Thank you. Thank you.